Hey, welcome back. Okay, so everything is up to temperature now. Both of them are above 75 degrees, so that's where they can play together. The thing is the water has been sitting here. You can see it evaporating. It's been sitting here for a good 45 minutes coming up to temperature. So now we have to see how much water evaporated and then add that back. And don't worry, we get it a little bit extra hot so that when we add the cold water to it, it still stays at 80 degrees at least. So I'm going to zero this all out and weigh it here. So it looks like we are about 300 grams short on water. So we're going to add that back. Okay. And then we'll just check the temperature, make sure it's at 80 again. All right, we actually want to heat that up a little bit more. 300 grams was a lot, so let's just heat that again. We'll do it again. Okay, now I think just the thermometer was slow, so we're good to go. All right, here's what oil phase looks like. All melted water, and we're gonna use this giant immersion blender. Here we go. See if I can do this with two hands. I'm gonna have to do this on my phone next time. Here we go. Literally mixing oil with water. All right, I need to scrape the bin. Hold on. Okay, here's what it looks like now. Nice and white and foamy. So I had to use the immersion blender. You can't just like whisk it together or anything because those emulsifying molecules that I was talking about earlier, even though chemically they open up on the end and they want to grab onto some water, they don't really want to grab onto some water. They just kind of like have their molecule open and you have to shove the water into it and get it to stay. So that's why you can't just gently stir it or it would just ignore the water. So you gotta like really force the water into the end of the emulsifier. And we do that with immersion blender or like larger labs use these cool like vortex. They're like washing machines basically for chemicals. They just like swirl it all around really fast. Okay, so now this is at like 80 degrees. So we'll let it start to cool down now and let that emulsifier really like cling to the water molecule and not let it go once it cools down. And in the meantime, we'll start measuring out all of our essential oils and plant extracts that are heat sensitive. So we want to add those after it calms down, or we'll just destroy all the stuff that it can do. Meanwhile, we continue to emulsify it every 5 to 10 degrees. Alright, so we're at 70 degrees still, so we'll give it some time. And first up on our list is lavender. Yep, we got our lavender here. Can you imagine so much lavender? So lavender I put in not just because it smells great, but lavender actually has been proven to calm the nerve signals that are going to your brain. And also when you're smelling lavender, your brain will, that part of your brain that senses pain is also dulled a little bit. That's why lavender is known for being so calming. It has literally measurable physical effects on your brain. So that's pretty cool. And they've actually done studies with this. They've put people in functional MRI machines and had them smell lavender, and you can see their brain neurons change behaviors. So pretty cool. Okay, next, copaiba. Look at all that copaiba. So copaiba doesn't smell very great, so we do want to cover the smell up later. But copaiba is a big pain reliever. It's a relatively small molecule, so it can get into past your skin through your skin barrier and physically affect the nerves and the rate of which they're firing. So it literally slows down like how often the electrical signals are going to your brain. All right, I think while we finish this, we'll get another temperature reading here. We're using a lot of copaiba because it is kind of the star plant ingredient in this formula, along with peppermint. We're going to use a lot of peppermint too. I guess I could have measured it out in a smaller beaker first. All right, we're almost there. Oh my God, we're almost there. Jesus. Okay, finally made it. And let's see, we are at just about 60 degrees now, so we will give this another emulsification. clove is another star ingredient here. Where's clove? Ah, I lost clove. Hold on. I found clove. All right, I forgot. I just had a different bottle of clove. I was expecting it to be in one of these, but anyway. Okay, so clove. Clove is super cool. So clove was the first anesthesia used by Europeans for dental procedures. So that's a pretty fun fact. And they found that on open nerves, it actually will kill the nerve cell itself. So we don't want that. But for clove in less than 1%, which the studies have shown, it's also a really small molecule and it can go past your skin barrier and get directly onto the endings of the nerves and slow down how fast it's sending out electrical waves. So the end of your nerves, they send out chemical signals, and clove actually interferes with how fast your nerve can re-up and shoot again. So that is how clove can help with pain relief. This time we're going to get a little smarter here. Let's just measure out a bunch first. There we go. Now we just have 10 more to go. Don't need to be sitting there forever. Now let's get precise. There we go. All right. Got a little bit on me there. So clove is really powerful. You always want to clean up after using clove because you don't want direct skin contact with clove for those nerve killing things we talked about. Okay, next up is peppermint. Peppermint is fun, right? We all know that it's like spicy, right? So it's considered a counter irritant. Counter irritants are like a trick on the brain where if it gives a little bit of tingle in one spot, your brain is focusing on the tingle and maybe not focusing on the pain signals that are coming up the backside. So peppermint is often used as a counter irritant, just like menthol and spearmint even. But it is a little bit more sensitive than spearmint or menthol. If you have like neuropathy and your skin already feels like it's tingling, then menthol is not for you, right? It's going to make that tingling way worse. It'll probably burn even. So peppermint gets the same effect on the nerves without causing that burning sensation if you're already suffering from tingling skin. So in this case, we only need 0.25% peppermint. So it's so much that you won't even feel it, but it is working on your skin. We're getting pretty full over here. Do you think I can get 12 more milliliters in? Oh no, we still have eucalyptus and wintergreen. I better get another container. All right. Okay, so far, every essential oil and plant that we've added has had a function to combat pain, because that's what we're making, is pain lotion. So this is our only ingredient, our plant ingredient that is not for pain. Eucalyptus is great. It does a lot of things. But in this lotion, like I mentioned before, we used a lot of copaiba, which is pretty stinky. So in this lotion, I find that eucalyptus neutralizes that copaiba smell, and that's the whole reason I'm using it. It's a pretty low concentration too. So the copaiba is a high concentration. It only takes less than 0.5% of eucalyptus to neutralize the amount of copaiba. All right, you might notice that I'm going through a lot of pipettes. And yes, I do have to throw them away after. So with the ethos of Trace Cakeys, that I just really hate using plastic whenever I can, I found these pipettes that are made out of sugar. So they are home compostable even. They cost a little bit more and they don't suck up as much stuff, but at least I'm doing a little bit of my part. Okay, last one is wintergreen. So wintergreen is one of those plant molecules that is really powerful. In fact, when you buy wintergreen, usually comes with a child safety lock, because if you drink this, just even 2 milliliters, you can really get poisoned. So you have to be very careful when you formulate with wintergreen. So it's a super powerful molecule. So you just have to read all the studies, and topically, how much can you use while it's effective without hurting somebody, is the point of being a research chemist. All right, so there you have it. We have let me blend this one more time. Where are we at here? All right, it's cooling down nicely. We'll give it another stir. Okay, so at this point, we're going to add citric acid, and this is from derived from, I believe this batch is lemon. Anyways, it helps with preserving it, but the main thing that this does for the preservative is gets our formula into a pH that makes it difficult for mold and bacteria to grow. So we're going to put that in at 60. Give it a stir. Okay, so here we are. We are pretty much done with this. We're going to let it cool down to less than 40 degrees Celsius. we've got all these essential oils, but we don't want to add those until it gets below the temperature where the heat won't destroy all of their activity. Because they are plants, they are not super chemically stable, which is why I make this in small batches. So I am going to end it here because this is going to take another probably hour or two to get it down below temperature where you can add the oils. Does anyone have any questions before I take off? How do I know what temperature you can add the plants in and not kill their powerful properties? And that's lots of research has been done to see at what point these molecules denature. So denature is a process where enough energy in the form of heat is added to a molecule, it will literally explode it. And then it won't work the way it's supposed to work. So all these plants, you can go online and look at their chemical properties and see at what point their active terpenes denature. And so that's something that I do while I'm formulating a formula, is to see what temperature I can add these plants in at and have them stable. So for the rule of thumb, most of them are below 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, thank you so much for joining. Bye, everyone.